Hello, how are you all? I need to vent to you for a second. So, I've been making this content for a little while now, off and on. I give like political and social commentary, mostly right leaning. You guys all know that. You've been with me for a bit. And most of the time, I'm pretty positive about everything. Sometimes it seems like, everything's doom and gloom, but I try to joke about it, try to have a positive outlook, and always be optimistic, and that's still me 100%. But once in a blue moon, once in a very blue moon, I see something and I just lose my crap. I get so angry because I just think, my Lord, oh my, how are we just this, excuse me, but dumb, willfully ignorant? And I'll let you know what I'm talking about. So today was one of those days. I was trying to make some content. I had some difficulty with my new software and just some technological problems. So I'm already just like, I'm already frustrated. And then I'm looking at a back and forth argument. So one of the things is what the media is calling the Don't Say Gay bill, which is actually called the Parental Rights Bill, right? So when I first heard of this bill, and this is how I am with everything, even as a Republican. And by the way, I'm not always Republican. If there was an awesome Democrat that had awesome policies and was running against a terrible Republican that had bad policies, I would totally vote Democrat. I don't think you should ever blindly follow any party. Always do your research. Always look at the policies and vote that way. I mostly lean right, average, and that's what we talk about on my talk about. I don't like tribalism. That is one of the reasons that we are in the place that we are right now, is because of tribalism and because people don't think for themselves. They just listen to what their side tells them to do. So anyway, even as a Republican, someone that talks openly online about my values and we look at things and decipher them, we're typically right-leaning. Even as that, when I first heard of this bill, I first heard of it as also the Don't Say Gay bill. And I was like, what? The don't. And I was like, well, that doesn't sound very good. Let me go read the bill. What is in this bill? What is this? That doesn't sound right. Especially when it's coming out of Florida, and Ron DeSantis is somebody that I quite like. So when I read the bill, I realized, oh, well, this is pretty commonsensical. It just says, grades pre-K through third grade, you don't lead class discussions on orientation or gender identity. It's until it's age appropriate, and you're transparent with the parents when you do have these discussions. It doesn't ban one-on-one discussions, but it says if you're talking with a kid, you need to notify the parent and be transparent. What about that is controversial? What about that is bad? Anywho, so I read the bill, I see that that's what's in it, and nowhere does it say gay. It just says orientation, which also means heterosexuality. So it just means you're not having class discussions on sexuality with your kids. No big deal, right? I don't remember a teacher ever having conversations with our class about sexuality when I was younger, and kids that young, they don't even know about sexuality. They don't care about sexuality. They're having fun. They just want to play with each other. That's it. They want to play and be kids, and we should allow them to play and be kids. It blows my mind how many people will get up and will take a stand and will have a strong stance, and they have not even read the bill. They're just listening to what their side tells them to do, and that's it. And I'm like, I understand if you don't really care, if you don't want to be educated, if you don't want to care, you have other interests, you have other things that you're interested in, you have other things that you want to talk about and learn about, and you just stay out of it. I respect that a lot. I used to be that way until I wasn't. But so I'm talking to someone, and this person gave an entire argument. You know what this person said? This person says, you know what? If they would just amend the bill to include heterosexuality, I would actually agree with it. And I know I'm using a really specific thing, but this is a bigger problem. And this is one specific instance, but this is with everybody. And I'm thinking in my head, number one, you didn't read the bill. Number two, do you know what the definition of orientation is? How are we so aggressively angry over something when we haven't even taken the time to actually read and see what it's all about? That is what I don't understand. And this is how, this is how I got here, because in 2016, everyone was all angry over Trump. They were like, he's a dictator. He's, they're all these words. He's, the white supreme sandwich. He's all of these things. And I'm thinking in my head, okay, he's a silly man, but is he really is he that bad? Let me go see. Instead of just blindly following what all of my friends were saying, what everyone was saying, I decided to go look for myself. And when I found out, oh, that's actually not true. I just don't understand, with all of this information right at our fingertips, I can look up the bill in 2 seconds and see what it says. It's on Florida Gov, the entire bill, and it's not that long of a read. All of these people that are so persistent on having their opinion publicly and being so angry about it, and quite frankly, in my opinion, making fools out of themselves when they have no idea even what it says. This person that I was talking to, literally the argument, this was a long argument that this individual was making. If they actually knew what was in the bill, if they knew what the definition of orientation was, they would have actually agreed with the entire bill. We have got to do better. We have to do better. Okay, this is silly, but I was in Laguna Beach at some gift shop, and I saw this little book, and it says Stuff Every American Should Know. And I just thought it was cute, and I was like, oh, I like these little books. I highlighted. But it says, one of the things in here, it talks all about the Constitution and just little fun facts about the U.S. And one of the things it says in here is, what is the Electoral College? So it talks about why the Electoral College was made. And it gave a few reasons. One of them I always knew about, and it's because all of the people in the middle of the country, like the flyover states, they wanted candidates to also pay attention to them and their needs, because if it's all about popular vote, then they would just pay attention to all the coastal cities and stuff like that. So that's one of the reasons. But another reason I actually didn't know about, and I would like to read it for you if you don't mind. But it said, when the farmers of the Constitution were hammering out the details in the summer of 1787, they worried that ordinary people would lack the intelligence and know-how to properly elect a president. The fear wasn't as condescending as it might seem. Remember, the new nation was big. It took weeks and sometimes months for news to travel. The framers didn't think it was possible for voters, even if they were educated, to know everything necessary about the candidates. In a vast governmental system of checks and balances, the Electoral College seemed like a good way to guard against an uninformed decision by the people. So it's interesting, because back in the day, they were worried about people being uninformed because they didn't have access to information. But now that has all changed. Now, like I said, I can type something. I have this little cool gadget right here, and all I do, doot, 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 and every piece of information that you could possibly want is there. And so what is our excuse? Okay, I get it. A lot of our media is biased, but guess what you can still do? You can still go on C-SPAN. That's just stuff straight out of Washington, straight out of Congress. You can go on the White House YouTube channel, which, yeah, I know, we get it. We know politicians and all of that stuff, but it'll have the full press briefing, the full speech, the full this. You can go on florida.gov and see the actual bill for yourself. And the fact that people will get up in front of, we saw in front of millions of people, in front of thousands of people, will make a stance on their social media. A corporation will put out a statement, yet they don't even know what's in the bill. Okay, some of them might have nefarious reasons, but let's just talk about the everyday people. You will do all of that, but you won't even take the time to look and see what's in it. If I thought a piece of legislation that bad was being passed, the first thing I would do is take my little gadget Doot, doot, doot. What does the bill say? Oh, it's actually not that bad. But we don't do that. We're tribalistic. I literally saw an interview. There's a guy named, I think his name is James Klug, and he lives in California, and he goes around. He has a YouTube channel. I highly recommend it. He goes around and he does Man on the Street. And he did a Man on the Street episode about the bill. And he was going actually in Laguna. How ironic. I got this in Laguna Beach. He did this episode in Laguna Beach. He was in Laguna Beach asking people whether or not they agreed with the bill. And he didn't frame it as the parental rights bill or the don't say gay bill. He framed it as what it is. Teaching, sexual orientation and gender identity for this specific age group, and being transparent with parents about what's in the bill. One lady that he asked, he said, do you agree with this bill? And one lady automatically said, no, I don't like Trump. I don't like Ron DeSantis. That's called tribalism. That's tribalism. That is dangerous. And that's what I think a lot of this is. We went from it takes months and weeks for people to get information to now we have all the information. There's no excuse, but we don't want to know that information. We don't like that person. So anything they do, I'm not going to like. That is so utterly dangerous. To support bad legislation or to be anti-good legislation, to be anti-good candidates, good politicians, because you don't like one person, because the people you follow told you not to like that person. That is so, so sad and so, so dangerous. And this is where we are now. And if I have a message to anyone that follows me at all, listen to different opinions and then form your own opinion. If I talk about something and you enjoy hearing my opinion about it, cool. But also, go look up, look, this little thing right here. How cool is that? Technology. Now we have all this information and we're just going to blindly listen to other people instead of forming our own opinions. It's just wild to me. And once in a blue moon, it blows my mind how just willfully ignorant and tribalistic we have become. We could do better. We are living in some of the best times ever. We have everything at our fingertips. We live comfortable lives, and we have devolved back into a tribalistic society. Anywho, that was my little rant for today. I was trying to make some more content. I got caught up in my technological things, and then I got angry, and now I vented, and I'm better. Anyway, that was my message. Let's do better. I know you guys watching, you're on it. We're on it. We're open. Be open with people. Have discussions. Don't just listen to what some celebrity or some politician who has a clear agenda. I look at politicians, even the ones I like used car salesmen. They're always trying to sell something. That's how I look at everyone. Even Trump, I look at all of them like used car salesmen. I don't listen to what they say. I look at what they do, how they have helped, what they've done when they've been in office, what their actual policies are, how those policies will play out. And that's how you should be picking people, not because they have an R in front of their name or a D in front of their name, or because I don't like Donald Trump, so I don't support anything. I remember there was a meme that I saw once, and it was talking about when Donald Trump was in office. And I use him as an example a lot because he's so polarizing. And the meme was Donald Trump could jump into the ocean and save a child from a shark attack. And the media would say, Donald Trump hates sharks. The media would be about how Donald Trump is anti-sharks. That's how the media works. We need to do better. Let's do better. All right, bye you all.